Picture this. It's the late 1970s. Spotlights blazing, glitter flying, and crowds screaming for four Swedes who ruled the world. ABBA wasn't just a band, they were a phenomenon. But while the world was dancing to Dancing Queen, behind the stage, two queens were at war, Frida and Agnetha, the two voices that built ABBA's sound. They clashed harder than the drums. And now, after decades of polished interviews and silence, Frida's finally telling the truth. And what she says about Agnetha ain't what the cameras ever caught. Frida was fire, passionate, bold, grounded in rhythm, a woman who lived for connection and camaraderie. Agnetha, ice, controlled, distant, wrapped tight in perfectionism and always a step away from everyone else. They shared a stage, sure, but off it, they were oil and water. Frida says Agnetha kept herself separate on tour, skipped the after parties, the small talk, even the group hangs. What looked like shyness? Frida says it was something colder, calculated, like she wanted sympathy more than sisterhood. And the deeper you go into Agnetha's story, the more complicated it gets. After the fairy tale of ABBA came crashing down, so did Agnetha. Her marriage to Björn fell apart. Not just quietly, it shattered. Left her spinning in heartbreak and regret. The family she thought she'd built? Gone. And she never truly recovered from that. Her kids grew up with a mom battling to hold herself together while the world still wanted a piece of her. And when she did fall in love again, like with Thomas Sonnenfeld, a younger man, it ended ugly. She poured herself into it. But when it collapsed, she didn't just lose a partner. She lost more pieces of herself. Then came the stalker, a man from the Netherlands, obsessed, manipulative, and somehow, in her loneliness, she let him in. That whole thing turned into a real-life thriller. Police, courts, headlines. It was messy and terrifying. But more than anything, it showed how fragile she really was. Agnetha wasn't just fighting fans or press. She was fighting everyone, producers, managers. She didn't take notes, didn't compromise. Every song had to be exactly right. Every harmony, nailed. Every take, flawless. And if it wasn't, she'd do it again and again. Studio sessions dragged. People walked on eggshells. She didn't yell. She iced you out. Small arguments turned into full-on feuds, the kind that never got fixed. Even her solo projects, though brilliant, were a minefield. Collaborators say she was moody, unpredictable. One day you'd be planning an album. Next day, doors slammed, phones off, project canceled. She didn't just shut down the studio, she shut out the world, refused press, dodged cameras, lived locked away on her private island in Sweden like a ghost in her own story. What looked like peace was just isolation with a pretty view. She spent days pacing those hallways, nights staring out windows, trapped in memory, haunted by applause that used to lift her, but now just echoed in silence. Calls went unanswered. Old friends drifted. Even her kids couldn't reach her sometimes, not because she didn't love them, but because the walls she built to stay safe became the very thing that kept everyone out. And yet, through all that, the world still played her songs, still danced to those records, still saw the blonde icon from a distance without ever seeing the real woman beneath it all. Fame gave her the spotlight, but it also stole the life she might have had. The stage gave her purpose, but the pressure took everything else. Frida's not just throwing shade, she's giving us a reality check. Agnetha's life was never the fairy tale it looked like. It was brilliance wrapped in pain, art born from chaos. We all loved the music, still do, but behind every perfect note was a person trying not to break. And Agnetha, she broke, quietly, privately, in a world that only wanted the smile, never the struggle. Now we know, and maybe now we listen a little differently.